If you spent hundreds of hours memorizing openings and you still aren't improving, it's not your fault. You're learning chess backwards, and I'm going to show you the Soviet secret that made them unbeatable for 50 plus years and why it completely changed everything about how you should learn chess. I know exactly how you feel. You studied the Sicilian defense for hours, learn the first 10 moves of the King's Indian attack, and then you sit down for a game. You make it past the opening, but suddenly you're in the middle game, and all your opening knowledge is useless. You feel lost, you make a mistake, and then you lose a game you should have won. This is the most frustrating feeling in chess. And it happens because almost every chess player learns this way. Openings first, then tactics, then maybe if we have time, we'll look at endgames. But this way of learning that everyone teaches is completely backwards. But once you see the board the Soviet way, the way of the world champion, you will win games you used to lose, and you will draw games you used to lose, and you will understand the why behind every move you make. I'm going to break this down into 3 hidden powers that studying the endgame unlocks, and by the end of this video, you'll know why the greatest players in history learned this way. Before we dive in, you can grab my completely free 10 endgames patterns cheat sheet. It instantly shows you the exact positions you need to recognize to stop losing winnable games. The square, opposition, Lucina, and more. The link is in the description. Grab it now so you can follow along. Studying endgames is a secret weapon that fundamentally rewires your brain. Scientists scanned the brains of professional chess players and discovered that their neural networks switch between different modes of thinking far more easily than beginners. This isn't just about playing faster, it's your brain's mechanism for master level flexibility and problem solving. But if you think about it, why do endgames build this skill? The reason is they have fewer pieces on the board. Think about learning to ride a bike. You practice in an empty park first and not a busy street. Endgames are the empty park for chess. You're not confused by 32 pieces. Your brain is focused on 2 things: pattern recognition and deep calculation. This is the perfect training environment. The greatest chess players in history, including world champions like Capablanca, all insisted on starting with the endgame. For example, take Rubinstein, who learned chess late but became world class by focusing on rook endgames. When you practice endgames, you're training your brain with maximum clarity. You learn to spot winning patterns and understand how pieces work together, skills that directly transfer into your entire game. It's like learning your ABCs before writing stories. You need the simple building blocks first. In chess, the foundation of mastery is in the endgame. But there's something that most people don't realize. There's a second hidden power that endgames unlock. It's even stranger. It changes how you see time itself on the chessboard. And once you understand this, you'll start winning games with a move that looks completely pointless. You'll learn to walk your king in a triangle just to force your opponent to destroy their own position. Sounds impossible, right? Well, keep watching because this is where chess gets weird. This is tempo, the 4th dimension of chess. In the endgame, a single move can decide the game. You learn to gain the tempo, waste one, or deny your opponent theirs. And triangulation is a mind-blowing example. You move your king into a 3-move triangle to force your opponent into a Zugzwang, which is a position where any move worsens their situation. This is triangulation. This is also kind of like opposition, which is another tactic. All these tactics are in the 10 endgames pattern cheat sheet, first link in the description. So you're here, and you go back, and then up to the right, and then back again. So basically, you went in this triangle. Even though it looks like it's the exact same position, it's black's move now. And black has to go to one of these squares. And then you're going to be able to go up, and then trade off, and then you're going to be able to win. But before, it was your move, and so you'd either have to go there, and I don't think that's winning, or you could go back. But to win, you have to go in this triangle so that now you're in the same position, but it's black's move. So black's gonna go back, and then you can go forward, and then you can trade, and you can push a pawn, and then you can win. So that's triangulation in a nutshell. But there's one more hidden power. And this is the real Soviet secret. It's the reason they dominated world chess for half a century. It's something called reverse engineering. This completely changes every single move from move 1. In fact, there's a player who started learning at 16, which is way too late to become a master. But he used this one trick, and he became so good that other grandmasters said he must be using witchcraft. So how did he do it? That's next. If you know what a winning endgame looks like, then you know which trades to make in the middle game. It's that simple. Most players look at an almost equal middle game, and think, should I trade my bishop for the knight? And they just shrug and guess. They have no clue, they have no idea. But a Soviet-trained player, one who started with endgames, doesn't guess. They calculate backwards. They know what moves they need to make in the middle game to transpose into a winning endgame. So, for example, they might know what moves they need to make to go into a Lucina or Philidor. All these positions are in the 10 Endgames cheat sheet in the description. When they're in the middle game, they can ask themselves, if I trade pieces now, I get a Lucina or a Philidor, will I get a winning position or a drawing position or a losing position in the endgame? They're architects of the position, pretty much. They're not just players reacting to moves. So, imagine you're building a house. Most chess players are like builders who start with putting up walls without looking at the blueprint. They're just hammering boards together, hoping it turns into something good. But a player who knows endgames is like an architect. They see the finished house in their minds first, and they know exactly where every wall needs to go because they know what the final building should look like. Every move is a planned step towards the final vision, and this is the most powerful takeaway. Endgame study, it doesn't just make you better at endgames. It completely changes your middle game play. You're going to stop making random moves and start making moves that are steps towards a winning destination. One of the greatest players ever is Calablanca, and he was maybe the best endgame player in history. He said this was the path. He believed that endgames show the true power of pieces and how they work together. Now, here's the crazy story, I promise. There was a player named Rubinstein who learned chess at 16 years old, but he still became a master. How? Well, focused almost entirely on rook endgames, which happen in about half of all chess games. So he studied the single most common endgame, mastered it completely. That knowledge carried over to everything else. He got so good that whenever a position simplified into an endgame, his opponents would just resign. They knew they couldn't beat him. So now you know all three hidden powers. You endgames first, you master the basics, the king and pawn, the rook endgames, the basic checkmates. You'll rewire your brain for deeper thinking and pattern recognition. This is where you build your superpower brain. Middle game second. Now you know the destination. You can build the right kind of middle game plans to get there. And then openings last. Now you're learning openings, not to survive the first 10 moves, but to reach a winning endgame you already know how to play. You're playing with the map and you know where you're going. The greatest chess players in history did it this way, and the most successful school in history built their entire system on this principle. And now science proves it actually changes your brain for the better. Now to start actually applying this, I've put together something completely free. It's the 10 endgame patterns cheat sheet. I know I'm mentioning it a lot. It'll show you the exact game-winning positions that every serious player must know. For example, there's the Lucina position. So here's the Lucina. So what you want to do is you're going to give it check, and you bring your rook up to the 4th rank. So you, in the Lucina, you want to build a bridge, and you build the bridge on the 4th rank. And what you do now is you bring your king out, and black gives you checks, but you walk your king up, and then eventually you can block with your rook. Now you're winning, black can do anything and you're going to promote. Yeah, so now you're winning. So that's Lucina. So you're also going to learn the square, opposition, the Philidor position, and so many more. These are the same patterns that Soviet grandmasters drilled into their students for decades. These are the positions that turn confusion into confidence and save you from losing winnable games. So stop guessing in the endgame, stop throwing away wins you've already earned. Click the first link in the description right now, and you can grab your free cheat sheet and save it to your phone or computer in literally 10 seconds. Now go flip your game upside down, and I'll see you in the next video.